hard working every day. Not a lazy mom, got no time to play. Always on the go. You stuck on the flow, but it's time for the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Not for Lazy Moms. We want it all. We do it all. Oh my God, we're almost at the end. I can't even believe it. Episode 11. And we're still here with your favorite dream team. We got Aly over here.
Hey, I wasn't expecting to be first, so I didn't prepare. Sorry. Hi.
You know what?
Every time.
I think we officially rubbed off on Aly, and she's really buying this G code because she was late for the first time today.
I know.
And, you know, we're always on CPT. If people don't know what that means, color people time, we're always late.
She really was late.
And Aly was late. I was shocked.
I'm so sorry. Honestly, can I tell you what it is? Like, I just assumed because the last couple times we've met, you've always been 15 minutes late. So when you even said that you were on the way, I'm like, she'll probably stop. She's going to want to get like a snack or a drink.
And what's funny is I actually did stop, and I got some snacks, I got some candy, got some, little frozen ice.
But you were still on time.
And I was still on time.
Man.
I came right from Pure Bar, so
I'm so
I was
mad at myself.
I was dying. I was like, oh my God, we're actually waiting for you for once. And then, we always got Big Bro, my handsome husband.
What it do? What it do?
That was it?
That was cool.
What it do?
Oh, okay.
That's for people to understand. That's kind of like what's going on.
Chris, you fell off today, man. I don't know what's going on, man.
And he who needs no introduction, Cousin Hank over here.
I'm a G.
Wow.
I'm interchanneling my Aly here.
You sound like a lowercase G.
I'm a G.
On that.
Bro, I was trying to act like her.
Lowercase. We get
you know
it.
what, Chris?
Okay.
You always coming at me, man. Like, what's going on?
Hey, let's get
I
to the
appreciate it,
topic.
actually.
That's not
Hot topics.
No.
God.
Chris, is this something you want to discuss right now?
No.
Because I feel like every time I say something like you, it's like, is it because you're sitting next to me right now?
I keep forgetting
Maybe
we need to separate y'all.
Yeah.
We really should.
Oh, no, it's too much testosterone over here, man.
You ain't got that much. Stop. I'm sorry, Hank. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The shade just comes so naturally.
Yo, you know
and
what,
you set
man?
yourself up for that.
Like, you know what?
You set yourself up. I'm so sorry.
Hey, yo, Chris was
I'm so
right.
sorry.
Let's just go on what we doing.
Let's
No,
knock
let's
this
keep
out.
going.
No,
Let's just turn
serious
this into
Hank.
I was just going to say,
'Cause
serious
you don't
Hank
want
is
to do
back
that.
now.
You don't want to do that, Chris. Why you sitting like that? You
Why you keep messing with my husband? You keep messing with him.
Because I feel the tension right. I can get on both of
want
y'all
some
right
attention.
now. I can get on both of y'all right now.
Attention.
Hey.
Aly, whose side you on?
Oh.
Aly, we just gave
I mean, you just mocked me and said, I'm a G. So I think I'm on.
Is that how I sound just then? I sounded like that?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
All right, I'm a G, yo.
Well, today we have a pretty fun topic. For first time moms, that first month, I don't think a lot of people keep it real about that first month being a first time mom. And today we're going to keep it real. We're going to tell you all of the things that you should know about that first month based on our experience and things that we've heard from our friends, some of the information that they withheld from us. And, it's almost like they just want you to suffer.
Seriously.
It's like the more prepared, the more details you get, the more prepared you can be.
I know, but I almost think it's the initiation into motherhood because when you ask other moms, they do keep out what the first month is like. And I think it's because they want you to experience how hard it is by yourself. That's your initiation.
Well, say you never got advice and you went through your first month. Wouldn't you want another woman to go through their own first month as well?
I mean, honestly, when I've gotten texts from new moms, I'm like, yeah, I know it really is hard. I just kind of say that, but I don't really give any details. So I think I'm becoming what was done to me.
I don't know. I think the only thing I ever hear people talk about is sleep deprivation. They just talk about how much sleep you won't get. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case for everybody.
Right.
And also, there's a lot of other things that are more important that they should be talking about outside of not getting enough sleep. So like how they won't tell you about the Meconium poop. That's like the first poops. That can be pretty frightening. You're like, what is this dark
happening?
tar? And you can't even get it off easy.
Oh my God.
Like,
I actually know what you're talking
butts.
about. I thought about it and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well,
it is like tar.
Hank,
that is crazy.
For this topic, I'm happy that Hank can be a part of it because for 2 months he thought the baby was his. And he was able to experience what we're talking about today. So this is great.
But you don't know how hard it was to go through what I went through and then find out I went through some crap because of I mean, I went through it, and it wasn't even my baby, man.
I know.
I would have turned down
I
that
can't even
experience if
imagine.
it wasn't
I
mine.
can't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah,
was
that
real-
sucks.
Yeah, it
So
really
you cleaned
sucked.
up that nasty poop.
I
like it
cleaned
was
up
some other
nasty
man
poop.
baby poop.
See,
Yeah.
technically, yes.
You a good guy.
I mean, I tried. I really tried.
So yeah, I think we need to prepare you today. I really think you should maybe get a pen and a notepad and just take some notes. You know, if you're currently pregnant or if you're deciding that you want to have kids, this is going to be a useful podcast for you. And I guarantee you, out of all of the episodes, this is probably going to be the one that's going to be replayed the most because moms are going to come back and they're going to say, you know what, let me get some of those notes. And
Let
see
me
if I can be
rewind.
prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember being in the hospital and I started to, they want you to nurse the baby right away. So I'm nursing. I'm good nursing the baby, but, put the milk dud in his mouth. He enjoys it, bonding, all of that good stuff. And it wasn't until that night, the baby wakes up. So I'm like, I'm still in the hospital. I didn't opt for the baby to stay in the nursery my first time, which was also stupid. I should have sent his butt to the nursery.
What
so
nursery?
I can get, oh, Lord, Aly.
I forgot
You had your baby in the hood.
Ollie's,
They have a little room where they keep all of the newborns.
Overnight?
Yeah, they'll keep them for you.
They'll keep the baby for you so you can get sleep.
And they have different nurses in there.
And then when the baby wakes to eat and wants you to nurse, they'll bring the baby to you.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. No, we were all in one room and they told me to wake the baby every 90 minutes to feed
What?
him. Yeah.
That's
No, you
crazy.
never wake a sleeping
I
baby.
didn't know that till after I got out of the hospital.
What?
I had no
You gotta
idea.
tell me
So the
this
hospital you was in, you had a shooting range in there, but you didn't have a little room where they can keep the baby for you.
They probably were afraid the baby would get shot.
like,
Keep the baby with the mom.
Yeah, you keep the baby. We don't want to be held responsible.
They
Keep
got
the baby.
everything but that.
everything.
Oh my God. Oh, Aly. So yeah. So they would bring, they when I had Christopher, he stayed in the room with me inside of his little, the little tub that they call a crib in the hospital. And when he would wake up that first night, I started to nurse him. Oh my goodness. No one told me about the fact that my uterus would still be shrinking at that point.
Contracting.
And when you nurse the baby, with every suck, your uterus contracts, like your full-blown contractions back, in labor again. It was so painful. I couldn't take it. I'm like yelling for Chris to wake up. His spoiled behind. The darn doctors brought him a bed in, so he had his own bed.
No
Was I supposed to
way.
stand up the whole time?
Well, most
You
people
sleep
sleep
in
on
the
a
chair.
couch. Yeah, or the chair that
Chris.
turns
Too
into
big
like
for
a
the
couch.
couch.
Chris, I'm right along with you. I had my own bed.
I
as
was-
well.
They brought him a bed
I had my
in.
own bed.
I was in a nice hospital.
And he was, do you know, at one point when the baby was crying, this one had nerve to wake up and say, "Can you get that baby to be quiet? I'm trying to sleep." Excuse me?
Wow.
He's over
I
there.
don't remember
not-
this.
You must have said that in your sleep, not
yeah,
realizing.
exactly. I would never do that, just
No.
like consciously knowing.
No, you were definitely, I just said you were asleep. Like you were not, you were sleeping excellent. And I looked at him like he
Chris,
has some
like
nerve.
somebody got to sleep well.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my
Somebody gotta
God.
pay the bills. You had the babies.
Oh Lord. Oh God.
Excuse me?
I don't know where
Just
this.
because you gave me a job on this show
Hey,
now.
Allie, I think this.
Look.
Yeah,
the
this
left
is where it's
turn.
gonna go.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
turn
You
left.
might just get your pink slip today. You
Yes.
probably don't even know what a pink slip is, honey.
I don't.
He's only ever worked one job, and that was for the Redskins. Lucky you, big pro.
There was a lot of hard work behind that.
Oh yeah. But I am the one that makes sure the bills get paid.
Say that.
You might have the money, but
I'm just gonna say thank you. You said it for me. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say yes, dear.
whatever. Don't be. You don't ever back down to no fight. So stop.
I am now.
You just started that though. Like I
Baby,
wasn't
you
even
won,
coming.
baby.
I wasn't even coming for you. Why you
Yeah.
coming at me like that?
Yes, dear.
Hey,
Man,
Allie,
whatever, Chris.
I know.
he's trying to make sure he gets some sloppy topping. That's all.
He didn't get no sloppy topping after that.
He's trying to smooth it out right now.
He didn't even have to go there though.
He really didn't.
Wow.
Kind of like the one episode when you just start talking about moms.
Oh, you
out
want
of
to
the
talk?
blue.
You want to talk about moms now?
Why would you bring up that?
Why would you
no,
bring
we
it
can.
up?
Oh, yeah.
We
Why
would
would you-
love
no,
to
you
talk about
just-
people's moms. I mean, no, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't.
Hey, let's get back to the topic.
Yeah.
Because everybody loves their mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we all do.
That's right.
We are mothers, so I would definitely appreciate the love I get from my kids. But anywho, those contractions that you feel, just be prepared. And what they gave me was like a 600 milligram Motrin, which did nothing. Medicine doesn't really work for me that well, so other people are different. It may work for you, but just be prepared. maybe you want to ask them to just go ahead and give you that, a few before you start to nurse. Just this way, it'll help lessen that. But no one ever told me about that pain. And it was excruciating. I didn't even know what to do. I had to stand up. I had to sit down. I went to the bathroom. I was just like, nothing is working. This is painful.
What I thought was so cool, though, as painful as it was, when the doctor told me that's your body's way of communicating that the baby is out. Like, to me, that's really cool. It was like your body talking to itself, saying, okay, we need to tighten up, we need to contract.
Yeah.
As painful as it was, I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing that it does that.
It is. It's amazing how your uterus literally shrinks back down to the normal size after only 6 weeks when you've carried this baby for darn near 10 months.
Unbelievable.
Chris, you looked absolutely confused when she said that. Like, when her body's talking to herself. Why did you look so confused?
I didn't look confused.
No,
I guess you're
the reason.
confused.
The reason
Why are you picking on Chris?
No, stop it. I just wanted to know if we were thinking the same thing because you did look confused.
What are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking because exactly what you said was you said that's a way of your body communicating with yourself, letting it know that the baby's out. Right? Was that verbatim almost?
Yeah, it's your body. When you're breastfeeding, it's telling your uterus the baby is out, so to contract and go back to normal. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that?
Yeah, when you breastfeed, it actually does help. It helps.
I thought it
to
helps the
shrink
process.
It does. It helps your uterus to shrink back down like at a faster pace.
Yeah.
I hear that women who opt not to breastfeed, it takes them a little longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's what we were told by our doctors is that it actually, when you breastfeed, it does encourage the uterus to shrink back down, which is why you get those contractions. Yeah. And then another thing they don't tell you is how hard it is to actually breastfeed. From the insertion, how you have to like pick up the boob,
Mona,
tilt the nipple a certain way.
right now.
Well,
No one's looking at her breast,
Look,
Chris.
if I'm going to talk about it, I need to.
I'm not looking at her breast, Chris.
Oh my God, and they're so big right now because I'm like pregnant. But yeah. They are. They're like huge.
I'm not gonna lie, they are.
They're heavy and they're heavy. Oh my God, they just like sit right on the top of my stomach. Like this is so uncomfortable.
Why are you massaging
Oh my God,
them?
I'm not massaging them. You need to be.
I will, but we got Aly and Hank in here.
So what? It's like,
Oh, you like people to watch?
I appreciate the discussion.
hey, you
Wow.
gotta try new things every now and then.
That's just dirty and sick. That's sick.
Well,
But no,
Hank can't
so
watch.
so they came. No, but all right. But in all seriousness, because I don't want to waste too much time on us joking, because we will do this all day long. But they told me to sign up. They had these classes. They were like, you can come to the breastfeeding class and we'll teach you. And I'm just like, that's so stupid. Like, I'm not going to no breastfeeding class. Like, how hard is it? You just stick the titty in the mouth. Like, I'm literally
milk
thinking like
dud in
that.
the mouth.
Milk
The milk
dud in the
dud.
mouth. Yeah. So I'm like, that can't possibly be that hard until I started trying to breastfeed my son, and it hurt so bad. It felt like he had teeth. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing something right. So the lady, encouraged me to go. I ended up going to the class, and oh my God, light years difference in how to breastfeed properly. And it didn't hurt anymore.
I think that's one of the best tips. First off, a lot of people go to breastfeeding classes while they're pregnant, which to me is such a waste of time. You need to go with the baby.
Yes.
So the lactation consultants that are there can really watch you breastfeed and tell you what to do. One of the best things I did was have a lactation consultant come to my house for a couple hours. And it was just in my space, in the chair that, the glider that I'm in with Sam. And she watched me, showed me different positions.
She grabbed your boob.
Oh, yeah. There's
They just take it.
They just wait.
snatch
Can I
it.
tell you the most awkward part? She goes to me, okay, now lay down on the bed and take your shirt off and let me.
You sound like one of them late night movies.
And she showed me how to breastfeed Sam with him on laying down, and then she goes to my husband, all right, now you stand on the bed and take pictures of all the angles.
Yeah, this is definitely a late night movie.
And then she was like, and text them to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Aly secretly got that number.
But she was like, show your husband so then he can help you in the future or whatever. But it was so awkward.
Now, what's crazy?
That is funny.
When the woman had the supposed to be child of mine, I've witnessed all she had to go through to breastfeed the baby, and she was literally holding this baby like a football. One time it was like people can't see it, but it was like that, and then it was like laying on the side, and then but she would grab that
high and tight.
Yeah, high and tight. She would grab it,
the pressure.
That's how you hold the football. Bam, and it was crazy.
It hurts. I mean,
Seriously,
pressure.
And then it got to a point where it was hurting her nipple.
Of course.
And they had cream to put on.
Oh, there's cream.
Now,
there's ice packs.
Let me tell you. This worked for me. In my 2 deliveries with 2 infants, I have never had cracked or crusty nipples. And let me tell you how. Let me tell you how to avoid this. After I breastfed both my kids, when they were done that session.
I'm sorry.
Why is so funny?
No, when you say cracked or crusty nipples, I'm just imagining that.
I was just waiting for someone
to... But go
to...
ahead, save the women from cracked and crusty nipples.
I'm trying to save them.
It's funny, though, but go ahead.
I'm trying to save because
I had a picture of grandma.
It's a real thing.
I mean...
It's a real thing.
It's such a real thing. I mean,
what I would do is I would get a warm washcloth before, all right, let me back up to, as they're breastfeeding, once they're done, I would take one of the little baby washcloths with warm water and I would wipe out the baby's mouth. Because you know how some babies have that really white tongue? It's like
I actually, my child, what is it called when you can get like a yeast infection in their mouth?
In their mouth, yeah. It's
he got it and then he almost gave it to me. It was horrible.
And it'll get onto your breast. And this is why I'm saying this. So what I would do is I would always wipe his mouth out. Even if he fell asleep, I'm just wiping his little mouth. And then I would take the washcloth and I would wipe off my nipple and I would put coconut oil on my nipple. Y'all know I'm a big fan of coconut oil. But let me tell you, coconut oil prevents, it's an antifungal. So it's going to prevent yeast buildup and all of that. So I put the coconut oil on. And then if they ever felt dry at all, I put more coconut oil. But then before I would nurse, I would take a warm washcloth. I would wipe it off. And then I would nurse, and then I would just keep that same routine. I've never had any issues. I've heard of the women who get the infection.
Oh, I had to get like prescription cream. It was 9 months of it was hard. And I will say that before the baby, you're like, oh, I'm just going to breastfeed for a year. And that's just such an unrealistic expectation for yourself, where I feel like it's mentally better for you to set smaller goals. Like, let me just get through this day. Let me just get through this feeding and see how long you can do it, and power to you. I mean, I'm happy I made it to 9 months. And there was no I wasn't disappointed in myself. I didn't make it a full year. I was like, wow, I'm proud of myself that I did it. But man, you feel like a human cow. Yeah,
no, seriously. And also, like with my son, I made it to 6 months with him. And I've always been saying every episode, he is so obsessed with boobs. He loves boobs. He did not want to stop breastfeeding, although he weaned off very well. I was surprised at how well he weaned off. I did it in stages. I made up a song to replace the soothing he felt from breastfeeding. So I would start singing the song to him in place of that breastfeeding session. And now, even to this day, he's 5, and my daughter's she'll be 3. She's 3 next week. But even to this day, if I sing that song to put them to sleep, they knock right out. They love it. Guess who's sleepy? Guess who's sleepy? Christopher
or
Milani. Time to go to sleep. It's time to go to sleep. So shh, 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 shh. And they'll literally sing it with me now.
Cute.
And then they'll doze off.
You know the crazy part is I sung the same song to my could have been child.
You jacked my song.
Could have been child.
I did.
I made that
and
song
it's the crazy
for
part.
my babies.
I used your baby's names.
Stop. I'm so done.
I caught on
so
after
done.
like the first time. I was like, oh shit.
Gotta love Hank, y'all. Gotta love Hank.
Just saying.
But yeah, so I think breastfeeding is a huge, thing that they just don't tell you about.
Nobody says how hard it is.
And it's different for every person. You have to make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids. You have to make sure you're eating properly so you can produce that milk. Then they have the mother teas that you can drink that'll help with milk production.
I've actually heard that the cookies and the teas are a waste, and it's better to just do like the supplements that have all of it in like one full dose, like a vitamin almost of it.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to like this. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I remember I just started taking like milk plus vitamins, and I would wake up like totally engorged, basically.
Wow.
But
wow.
And I feel like they also don't tell you how much you need to prepare and pump. Like you need to pump a lot because, like, let's say you get sick, your
Yep.
supply drops so much that you need to be prepared you have
No,
stuff.
that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy because they actually encourage you to breastfeed when you're sick because you're producing these extra antibodies.
Yep.
Your immune system is kicking into overdrive. So that's like the good milk, you know? So, but yeah, one thing that I would do before I started breastfeeding, like if I knew it was almost time to feed the baby, I would get one of those heating pad things that you can put in the microwave and I would sit them across my breast and it would help the milk let down.
That makes so much sense because when
Yeah.
you take a shower, you're like the milk. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Allie be in the shower squirting them off.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that warm heat will help you to let
That makes so
down,
much
and that
sense.
milk
Okay.
comes, pouring out. So, so I hope we covered all of the booby talk because that's so huge. That
I
was
feel
huge
like
for me.
honestly, the best advice we probably said is see a lactation consultant.
Yeah.
Outside of the hospital.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much you're not afraid to be exposed in front of people after having a child. I mean, after you have your legs wide open in front of a room full of doctors and nurses, you can pull a boob out.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Nobody
It's
cares.
so not a big deal. Yeah, I have no shame anymore.
Nope.
It's like whatever. Seen one, you seen them all. So another thing that I noticed was how isolated I was from friends and family. It's like your whole social life changes, and it's hard for the friends who don't have kids. They can't really fully understand why you aren't around. It's like
Yeah.
they get it, but they don't get it.
I feel like everybody always rushes over, that first week you're home, they're bringing over casseroles and this and that, and they're coming to visit.
And it's like, no,
Yeah.
don't come over here.
I know. And even after that, it's just kind of, it's quiet and you're really alone.
Yeah. Well, I had Christopher in the wintertime and it was flu season.
Me too,
So
same.
our house was
Yeah.
like Fort Knox. We did not let anyone
That's
come
right.
over. We just had immediate family. Chris's parents were there. Both my parents, my sister, my brother. They were all in town and that was it.
Oh, I wouldn't let anybody touch Sam unless it was like immediate family that I made go get like the flu shot and stuff. Like,
Wow.
I just was
And wash their hands every
paranoid.
time,
Yeah,
definitely.
every
Chris
single time.
Went to Sam's and brought huge tubs of hand sanitizer, and he had them literally in every corner of the house. He was not playing. Yeah, so it was like, for the family that was there, it's like, did you wash your hands?
Let me
And
see.
then-
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also using the baby's burp cloth or the receiving blanket. Don't put the baby up against your clothes, because you can have perfumes and different scents that can irritate the baby's skin. So that was, huge for us. It's like always make sure the baby, is laying up against their own, freshly washed receiving blanket. I think another thing that was huge for me was not working out, not rushing. That 6 weeks when the doctor says you need to like really chill and stay off of your feet. I'm a person who's always been a busybody, and that was probably the hardest part for me. But he said something to me that this guy I went to, he's an acupuncturist. He said to me and my husband, he said, even when you feel like you can do everything and your body feels good, he says those 6 weeks will determine how fast you age later on.
Wow.
He said, because your body has literally experienced trauma that is just like unbelievable. He said, you have to stay off your feet, let your body completely heal. He said, because sometimes it's harder to let things heal when you can't see the physical bruise. So you think, oh, I'm feeling good. I feel good. I can get up and I can do. And he's like, no. He was like, listen, stay off your feet. Let people cater to you. Enjoy those 6 weeks. After you get your doctor checkup and he says everything's good, then you can start gradually, working out again and doing things. He was like, but take your time. He said, because it will age you. He said, you see some women walking around and, they're young and they've had like 2 or 3 kids and they look wore out. And he said it physically will age you. Your body can't fully heal. So he said, don't do too much.
It's kind of crazy because I was in a position where I wanted to help out, but this person to some kind of extent didn't want my help as much.
Well,
as,
probably because she knew you wasn't a baby daddy.
Yeah, that's probably, you know what's crazy?
She didn't want you to get attached, probably.
That's right. She knew that was going to come through
Listen,
here.
believe you me, attachment was not a problem with me. It really wasn't. But like I was trying to say, it was kind of crazy how she wouldn't allow most of the help that I was trying to give. I mean, she just didn't want to receive it. It's kind of funny, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, another thing, like literally, we're going to be going down the list today. I literally have a list in front of me. But Aly had a great suggestion because a lot of people have so many items, so many toys, so many clothes. You have all of these things that you're literally wasting money on.
The baby registry, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even know what your baby's going to like. You don't know. You haven't even met the baby yet.
I know. I wish somebody said that to me because I feel like we've all been there where we spend so much money on a swing or these like fancy kind of bottles that we really want to use because they look cool and they're whatever. But then when you meet your baby, you find out they hate that swing. They really like this swing that your friend has, or they hate that kind of bottle. They hate the nipple of that one. So you waste all this money that, to me, I almost think next time around I would have a baby shower after I meet the baby. Maybe like, you know, because you don't really need anything in the beginning, right? You just need the bare essentials.
Yeah. But isn't it a good idea to go ahead and have the stuff and be prepared in advance? Just leave a receipt on it.
Well,
that's such a pain. Oh my! I hate returning stuff. When you're a new mom too.
Yeah, but what if you're underprepared and now the baby's sitting there crying because you don't have anything?
What do you
have the basics?
Things you should
have the
already
basics.
know.
The basics are diapers, wipes, burp cloths, bottles, swaddles, receiving blankets. Your baby monitor,
all that other stuff.
And I would say a boppy
pajamas.
pillow because really you just put the baby in the boppy and you're fine. The first 2 weeks.
Because how much is the baby going to really do?
Exactly.
I get you.
You have time. You have time to go out and purchase more things or order things online. You know, the way society is now. I mean, you literally can be sitting there and you're like, okay, I think it's time for me to try this out for my baby, and you can order it.
Right.
I just feel like we do waste so much money, so many cute little outfits that they can't even wear. They'll grow out too fast and you forget about them.
Or on a newborn, like, I'm sorry, but the outfits don't even look, just put them in a onesie. Like all those fancy schmancy outfits on like a blob does not look cute. Like
And
just wait
swaddle 'em
until
up,
just
and that's
swaddle
it.
them
Yes.
up.
Right.
Yes, and then you can have like that one outfit if you're preparing to like take the baby to church for the first time.
Right,
You want
of
the baby to
course,
look
yeah.
cute, you know, or if you have people coming over to visit and they've gotten a little bigger, and you're like, all right, I want them to look really fly when I have family come over. But most of the time, you're going to be in the house, especially that first 2 months.
And I will say,
in the house.
yeah, somebody gave me great advice. They said, don't buy pajamas that snap because they are such a pain.
Oh, my God.
Buy pajamas that zip.
Yes.
Just everything zip. The zipper is so much easier.
It is, because all that snapping when
It's uneven. Where does it go? I just
Because
don't.
sometimes sometimes
Don't get
they're knocked out sleeping because they just had a great bottle, but you're like, darn, I don't want them to sleep and I haven't changed their diaper. You know, because sometimes you get thrown off with your routine, and it's like, oh, I need to change their diaper. Now you got to unsnap all of these, pull their little legs out, and then it's like now they're cold and they're moving around and their nap is being ruined because you didn't think to have something that zips.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the gowns. The gowns were my favorite.
Oh, the
where you can
gowns
tuck
are
their feet
amazing.
right in there.
I love them.
Oh
yeah.
my God, that was so much easier because it was just so accessible right to the diaper, and then you just throw it back on top and they're knocked out. And also, I like those swaddle blankets that you can just put them in. It's like a sack.
Yeah,
And
the
then you
sleep
just-
sacks.
Yeah, the sleep sacks were amazing. So, and then you'll see once the baby comes what they like and what they prefer. My son loved being swaddled. He had to be swaddled.
Same with Sam.
Those
Yeah.
arms were jumping like crabs, like how crabs be like this.
Yes.
That was his arms all day long. So he would wake himself up. He had to be swaddled, and he loved it. I have pictures of him in the bed, him and Chris both knocked out, taking a nap. And this
We're
one
both
picture,
swaddled?
Chris looked like he was swaddled. I didn't even notice it. I sent the picture to my parents. I might have to post this if you don't mind, Chris, on notforlazymoms.com. But this picture is so cute. My mom was like, I'm just like, sending her a picture, and I'm like, look how cute they are. They're taking a nap together. My mom was like, oh wow, it looks like you have both of them swaddled. Because Chris had his arms down like this, and so was Christopher. It was so funny, but it's those cute little moments. But Milani, Miss Independent Diva, she's a little control freak, just like me. She hated being confined and constrained. She hated being swaddled.
Really?
She absolutely
Didn't like
hated
it
it.
at all.
So thank God we didn't know the sex of either of our children. So we had everything neutral. So everything that I had from Christopher, I used for Milani. I didn't have to buy anything, like literally.
That's so
same
nice.
car seat, same crib, everything. Like I kept it, in a nice bag and tucked away and washed and cleaned. And she did not need the swaddles at all. She hated them. So she just had to have her arms out and accessible. So it's like, you have to get to know the child and know what they like. He hated the newborn sleep sack that I had for him. It's like a hanging hammock. style. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. I spent a bunch of money on it. He hated it. Milani loved it. So I was like,
That's
oh, good.
funny.
At least I get good use out of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So they like different things, and you'll kind of get to know, like, does your child like to be sleeping on their side or on their back or in their stomach? Like, you'll figure it out, as you go along. So baby showers after you meet baby. I like to call it a sip and see.
Oh yeah, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Hey, do it. I definitely got a lot of gifts for when Christopher was blessed, when we did the blessing at church and he was christened. So that was nice. But yeah, there's different ways you can do it, especially if you're trying to save money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what else? We talked about staying off your feet. One thing is that for me, I'm a planner, and I thought that I had this thing figured out. And I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to have this schedule, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Please. Those first few months, that baby is on their own time, and therefore you're on their time.
Yep.
So it is very hard to try to have a plan because they switch it.
Completely.
So what I say is take your time in getting to know your baby. Enjoy that time. Let them tell you and show you who they are versus you trying to put them on your schedule.
It's really no rush.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
Yeah,
They're going
enjoy
to
the
tell
time.
you. They're going to tell you everything.
Follow
that
their
needs to be
lead in the
known.
beginning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I keep burping. I worked out earlier and it's like, this is obnoxious.
I was going to say
back
something.
to the old days. I literally,
Shrek 2.
I keep dodging the mic so I can
Did you
belch.
just call her? Oh, wait a minute. Did you just call?
Did you just call me Shrek?
He just called
Sound like an ogre.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. What was the Theoma?
An ogre.
Wow. Anywho,
Oh, you said the name.
Fiona.
my kids love Shrek. They watch that movie all the time.
right.
So in other words, throw those expectations out the window and just relax. Don't beat yourself up. I am so against waking up a sleeping baby. I would not do it. Like, I would much rather them show me their schedule and then I figure out my life based off of that, at least for the first, 6 to 8 months, and then take it from there. But most babies, you're able to start scheduling them when they're more consistent. It's around like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Depends on the child.
But honestly, that's when like the sleep progression happens, and so it's so inconsistent. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, you just have to be prepared for the unexpected. Because my son, he was so large, he came out like he was already 2 months old. He was an infant. He was like a newborn for 9 days. After the ninth
after
day,
that, he was
wide up. He was darn near trying to sit up. Like, it was crazy. And one of my good friends that lives in New Jersey, Trinaire, she had her daughter before I had Christopher. And she came to visit when he was 3 weeks old, and she's expecting him to act like a newborn. And she's just like, oh my God. She's like, I feel so bad for you. And I was like, why? She said, you haven't been able to experience what having a newborn's like. She was like, she's like, my daughter was still sleeping and acting like a newborn for like 2 months. And I was like, really? I'm thinking it's normal.
Right.
And then when I had Milani was out for 2 months. I mean, it was amazing.
She just slept?
She was an infant all the way. I mean, she was the newborn to the T, So I didn't know. So it's like being prepared for the unexpected. Your baby is not going to be like everybody else's. That's for sure.
good advice.
Yep. One thing that Aly had pulled up was how little they eat in the very beginning.
Yeah. So a lot of times women get so nervous when they see their baby dropping weight that they want to switch to formula because it takes a little bit for your milk to come in, but also your baby doesn't need a lot of milk in the beginning. On the first day, the baby's belly is the size of a cherry. So that's only 1 teaspoon.
Wow.
1 teaspoon. Day 3, size of a walnut, which is 1 ounce. And after a week or after 2 weeks, it's a size of an egg. So it's so small that you think that your baby needs all this food and all this milk, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. Oh my God, the weight drop. I was not warned about that.
Yeah.
So when you first have the baby, they come out in 9 pounds, 13 ounces, 22 inches long. That was my son. But then after a few days, his weight dropped.
When
like,
you go to the doctor and they weigh, you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Is everything okay? And it's scary.
I thought I did something wrong. Like, I literally was like beating myself up.
You feel like a
The baby was
failure.
underfed or
Yes,
what?
remember, Chris, you remember how bad I felt?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what to do. I was no one told me. So after the
They
doctor
should say
explained-
that at the hospital. Like,
They
hey,
should.
don't be alarmed by this. they really should say that about a lot of things. So it's good we're doing this. But
Yeah, because that totally, I mean, when I tell you that scared me more than anything else, it was just like, oh my God, I'm already a bad mom. No. You know, I was
There's
like.
a lot of things they don't tell you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And also even with diapers. So obviously my son was huge. So he skipped right over newborn diapers. He went to size 1. So I would suggest in the very beginning, get a pack of newborn diapers and have that handy, but you may want to also have the next size. So one of the things that I would love to do, I always try to plan in advance. So if I would have a box of each size, like up to number 3, just
that's
in
smart.
case.
Yeah.
Just
And you'll
in the
use them
closet.
eventually.
Exactly. Eventually you use them, and whatever you don't use, you can give away. As they grow and they get out of those sizes. But yeah, so I didn't have many newborn. I didn't have use for newborn, and I only actually had one small pack of newborn diapers.
I had none. I mean, I didn't. I was just like, I don't know. Everybody I talked to was like, oh, you just, buy the 3 to 6 months. Like, it's fine, whatever. Buy size 1 diapers. And they were huge on him. And I didn't have any clothes that fit him.
Wow.
Because of that.
Yep. I remember, as big as Christopher was, everyone told me, oh, buying newborn clothes is a waste. Newborn size is small. Don't do it. Christopher needed the newborn size. He needed it for at least a week. So he needed something to wear. In those 3 to 6 months, even the 0 to 3 months, they were too big for him.
By the way, just some advice, like, seriously, take the diapers from the hospital. Bring an empty duffel bag and load up on newborn diapers, on the ice packs for yourself, on the diapers for yourself, on the mesh underwear, all of it.
Yeah, the mesh underwear were bomb.
Oh my gosh.
Love
Ally's a
those.
thief. I love it.
Bring that extra duffel bag.
Oh my goodness. Now, for those who have little boys, Aly, I don't know if you went through this. Did you get your son circumcised?
Yes, we had a bris at our house. Yeah.
Oh, you did? You did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We did ours at the hospital. What they did not tell us, after he was circumcised, they put the little Vaseline on, and they'll tell you to reapply.
Yeah.
They did not tell us to retract the penis.
Yeah,
And-
because it can grow back.
Yes,
the
we
skin
went through
will
that.
grow over. And luckily, Chris caught it.
Did you have to get it done again?
No, thank God. So let me tell
It's
you.
a small procedure.
Yeah, so it wasn't even a procedure. It was more like we took him to a doctor checkup with me, to my actual OBGYN, not even the pediatrician. Chris noticed it, and he was like, his penis doesn't look as big as it did when he came out.
Well, the baby got to have a big wanker.
So he was like, something isn't right. And me, I don't know. This is, I'm just like, oh, no, it's fine. And he was like, no, something isn't right. So we take him to my doctor, and he looked at it, and he was like, oh, he said, you have to make sure you retract it every time and then put more Vaseline
And
they
or
never
coconut
told
oil,
us
whatever.
They didn't tell you?
They didn't tell. So if they did, we didn't hear it.
They didn't
But
tell us.
I don't quite remember
Also,
them
how
telling
much
us.
do you really absorb? Like, I wish they sent you home, like, the list of everything
A
they told
pamphlet.
you when you were just, like, freaked out by the fact that you had a baby.
I think Not for Lazy Moms needs to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make a list, and we'll have it available on the website.
You can print it out and bring it with you to the
Yes.
hospital. So you could almost check off every time they tell you something, and then you can bring it home.
Yes. Yes.
So when we took our baby back, we had to get this small procedure done, and literally I'm cringing
It
watching.
wasn't really a procedure.
It was a plucking.
He literally took a little surgical, like it wasn't even a knife. It was like a little
Like a
surgical
pick,
tool.
kinda like a pick,
And
right.
he retracted it back, and he just went around the head of his penis, and all of a sudden his penis popped out. Like,
There it
what?
was.
Got to make sure he gets the full
Yeah.
potential on when he grows up.
Yeah, and he said what happened was, if you don't make sure that's retracted, he said every time you change the diaper, retract his penis,
Yep.
put some Vaseline on it, and just retract it, move it around, don't play with it, just retract it a little bit, and then put his diaper back on. So we were doing that like religiously after that, and he didn't have any.
No, that's good advice.
And the
because I
doctor
didn't-
told us,
yeah.
he said he's so young right now, he really can't feel it as much as you think he can when
Right.
he actually did a little deal to, fix
Yeah,
it.
because he didn't even cry, and it bled a little bit too.
He did a little bit. He fussed a little bit.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
Yes, he
because,
did.
my son, G, he's strong. I'm like, he
Sure
didn't cry.
enough,
Hey, I don't care how big a G you are, when you getting that dealt with like that, he can make you cry.
Yeah, my poor baby. So he got circumcised and everything, but we weren't told that. And then I had other friends who had sons after me who had the same concerns. And I would tell them straight off the back, if you're getting him circumcised, make sure you retract that thing and put some Vaseline around it every time.
Every time. I remember I was like so paranoid. I'm like, I don't know how to like wipe this thing. I'm just not used to it. And the nurse was like, just treat it like it's a little finger. And I was like, okay.
Oh gosh. Oh my God. So one thing I wanted to also mention, how often did you submerge your baby in water and how soon? Because for me, I think I started at the time that they tell you can give them their first bath, which was
Isn't
like
that when the belly button is dried out or something?
yeah, once the umbilical cord fully,
My husband pulled that off the first day
He
accidentally.
pulled it off.
What?
Yeah, the first hour we got home.
The baby pulled it off?
No, my husband
Oh,
pulled
wow.
it off. I was freaking out. I called the doctor. I'm like, there's blood everywhere. Like, it's a crime scene. And my husband picks up the phone. And he goes, hi, doctor. I'm sorry. There's like 3 droplets of blood. It's not a big deal. The baby seems fine. They said it was okay, but I'm like, yeah. But anyway, sorry.
My God.
The bath, yeah.
So after that falls out, then they say you can like give them their first bath. I think I was putting him in water too much, and his skin started drying out. So after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give him like fully submerged baths, like maybe like once a week for the first, a few weeks after that thing falls out. But then after that, I would do like little wash-ups. And even his pediatrician told me, he said, I mean, how dirty is a baby really getting?
Right.
He was like, he's not out working out and sweating.
Of course.
He said, so you don't have to. He was like, because you don't want his skin to dry out so much, then he gets those dry patches and, eczema and all that type of stuff. So he was like, you don't have to fully submerge him every single night. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you can
too
get a
much.
washcloth and wipe him down. My doctor was like, if you bathe every night, your baby should be bathing every night. So we were doing that, and then I noticed that his skin was starting to get dry.
Oh, God.
So that's when we stopped doing the like full-on baths. But a lot of times also like now Sam showers every night. It's just like a part of our nightly routine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I
showers
feel
are
like
different.
it calms them. Yeah.
Showers are different than being in a tub full of water and you're sitting there too.
You're right.
So yeah, but another thing that was really important too is wiping under the baby's neck.
Yes, that's a
You
good
gotta
one.
lift
from
up
the
those
milk and
rolls.
stuff.
Can
Yeah.
get in there.
You
and it
gotta.
will-
Oh yeah, Hank actually
Yes.
he witnessed this. He witnessed me constantly after they ate. I'm lifting up them little rolls. I will wipe underneath with a warm washcloth, and then I will put my favorite. Can you guess? Coconut oil. And it prevents having that
seriously.
yeast build up in those rolls.
There's nothing
So-
like picking a child up and you smell that.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
yeah.
What?
I know.
What in
Yeah.
the world?
The
That's pretty-
sour.
Oh, I hate that.
smell.
It's pretty
Seriously,
awful.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah,
really
so
is.
if somebody else have a baby and they baby smell like that, I'm not picking the baby up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I cannot pick
I'll
up a baby
smile
that
from
smells.
here.
I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I would literally give the baby back to mommy, like, oh, you're so cute. Here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll like breathe like 1,000 times in a different direction. That's so mean, but it's so true. Please make sure your baby don't stink. And don't be handing me no babies that smell. I can't
And
do
also
it.
make sure you're not wearing those sour milk clothes out. You know what I mean? Because like
Yes.
I noticed a couple times as I was leaving the house, like, oh, there's spit up here, and it smells like old breast milk, which smells disgusting.
Oh no!
my
And
Lord.
no, it's funny because Chris always calls me over the top. I will have like 1,000 bibs, and I got the bibs that have the little neck roll, which I love because it prevents milk from getting
Oh, that's
on their
smart.
neck. It has like this little rib. So you put it on and it has like an extra little layer there and it literally will help prevent the milk going into their neck. But I will have 1,000 bibs and I will change that thing every 5 minutes if I need to. Like especially when they start teething and stuff, I would buy little cute polo bibs and Burberry bibs and I don't care. I'll make sure they're real stylish, but my baby's gonna have a bib on while they're drooling because that also leads to the yeast buildup when they
Yes,
start
that's so
drooling
true.
and they're
That's right.
teething and things. But I would change my kids constantly. Like they were always in fresh clothes or or had a fresh bib. If they threw up, I'm changing them right away. I'm wiping out their mouth. Oh, I can't stand when you can smell that the baby has like vomited.
Yeah.
And then clearly the parent didn't clean their mouth out.
Yeah.
And it's just not good for their gums. It's like you gotta make sure that mouth is clean. Poor things.
It's just like, ask yourself, would you want to sit in that or have throw up and not clean out your
Right.
mouth.
That's
You're going to brush
Seriously.
your teeth after you
Just ask,
throw up.
would you want to be like that?
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
my kids will have a fresh, clean, bib or clothes if they throw up on themselves to that extent, and they will definitely have a fresh diaper. Like I do not play about them diaper changes.
Would you want to sit in a
Yeah,
diaper?
no.
Like,
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah.
Well,
I can't.
sometimes.
No, I can't. Oh,
In the
stop
beginning,
it,
I'm
Chris.
checking diapers
Jokes, man.
like every 2 to 3 hours. I'm checking a diaper.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like if they poop, it's coming off right away.
I
A
can't
baby
stand
will not
seeing
sit
a
and
kid
poop.
walking around with a diaper 3 times the size it is. And this
Like
little
a sack
Joey
of
just,
potatoes in there?
playing around. And I'm like, look at this
It's
diaper.
ridiculous.
I know.
This diaper knocking his knees. Man, take that
You
thing
can-
off.
And then they can get, whether it's a girl or a boy, they can get a yeast infection.
Seriously.
Right.
You know,
It's
so
horrible.
yeah, that moisture and stuff. And then if it's poop, oh my God, no. Can't deal with that. But yeah, I love what you said, Aly, earlier.
Oh, yeah. So my therapist said this actually to me. So postpartum, first off, if you have any feeling that you should be seeing a therapist, you should. Personally, for me, it worked out amazing. But so my therapist said to me, the most consistent thing about the first year is that it's inconsistent. And I feel like that almost felt like a weight off my shoulders where I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Took the pressure
so
off of
yeah, okay, this is normal, that every day is not normal and completely different.
Yeah.
And it just made me feel better about it.
Yep. And they go through these growth spurts and everything changes. Like every few months, it's like you have to start all over again with coming up with some sort of routine because now their needs have changed.
Oh yeah, I remember someone said to me, once you get to know your baby, they change again and
Yep.
they go through a different milestone.
Yep.
And they get to, yeah, exactly.
Yep. It's so true. It's so true. So yeah.
Sounds like marriage.
Yeah. It's definitely
Yeah.
the same. Yeah. So it's like, just being okay with that, okay with that. Sometimes it's impossible to establish a routine very early on. But eventually you'll start to see that they have certain habits that are repetitive and you can come up with some type of schedule for yourself. So yeah, outside of, everything else that we've been told, definitely when it comes to the sleep issue, that can spill off into so many other things. So it's like, do whatever you can. If you have family nearby that you trust that can help you with your baby, or if your husband is home and he says, look, go get out the house, go to the spa, go relax, go do something, go to the park and read a book. Don't feel so attached that you can't take care of yourself, and make sure you get some good quality sleep, because sleep deprivation
Can
will
I
just
say
lead to
something
so
to
many
that?
other things.
And this is for the single parents, mothers that really can't depend on anybody. When your baby sleeps, get some sleep. I swear, I've been telling this girl when she had this baby. No,
I hate that advice.
no,
I'm sorry. It actually makes my skin crawl.
No, no.
I want to hear this guy.
No, thank you, Chris.
We'll hear you out, but we don't agree.
No, we don't have to agree.
We
But
both looked at each
but
other
no. Wait a minute. I'm talking about if you don't have nothing to do and you're always complaining about sleeping, get some sleep while the baby sleep. Don't be up watching TV. Don't be up talking
There
on
are
the
a couple
phone.
factors with that.
I'm listening.
The baby is inconsistent. So first off, is it going to take you 1 second to fall asleep? Because for me personally, I can't just fall asleep when someone says fall asleep. But also the baby could be napping 5 minutes or maybe 2 hours, but you can't turn your mind off, or you're like, I have laundry to do. Oh, I need to cook. I need to
But
do
you
this.
know what's crazy?
No, but I got his point, though. He
You
said,
don't. All right. Maybe I used the wrong terminology. Rest, relax, chill. If the baby is resting, rest with the baby.
Whatever that means.
Don't run your mouth on the phone.
that's what he's saying.
Don't
All of that
Okay.
extra
Okay.
added stuff.
You go and try to relax yourself.
Right. If you have to do the dishes
Exactly.
and laundry, that's stuff
Sometimes
that's
that
mandatory.
can wait. I'm talking about the extra
So you're
stuff.
saying be social, don't be social.
Not necessarily
just
don't be
stay in
social.
the house.
No.
You already don't see your friends and family.
It's like
now
this.
you can't get on the phone.
If you're in
can't
the-
do social media.
No,
Be
I'm not
alone.
saying that. Oh, see, you know what? y'all
Enjoy the alone.
No, stuff that has to get done, you have to do it.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
But all of the extra little added stuff, and I understand you want to have fun, but
To
then
the
don't-
person that's complaining about
thank
no
you.
rest.
Thank you.
Don't
Get some rest
put
when you
stuff on
absolutely
your-
can.
Understand.
Exactly.
But I will
That's what I
say
meant.
it's easier said than done.
Yes.
No, it's
because-
not. It's easy to get off your feet and relax, turn that phone off.
Yeah,
turn
because
everything
me tell you-
Instagram is so important at this moment. The
Sometimes
baby's
that's
napping.
what you want to feel normal because
Well,
you've
then
been
don't
changing poopy
cry about
diapers
it
all
being tired
day.
later.
Then don't complain about the sleep then.
Can't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't complain about the sleep then. If you have opportunities to rest and you choose not to do it.
No,
Because that's irritating.
I don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, sometimes when people
Chris.
are venting, because they feel so overwhelmed with all of the pressure of being a new mom and then not getting the sleep that they're accustomed to. You at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, my adrenaline's pumping. I'm getting stuff done. Because the baby falls asleep doesn't mean that I'm tired at that moment. My body is tired and my body is exhausted. But sometimes during those hours, I can't physically fall asleep. And then sometimes I'm afraid that I'll fall asleep if I'm home by myself with
I'm
an
not gonna
infant
get up.
that I won't hear them when they start crying. And now, they're up and I'm knocked out.
Well, for the single,
Yep.
wait a minute. I know how y'all just want to agree with everything. For the single parent, you're always going to have that problem. You're going to fall asleep eventually anyway.
At night, but the baby normally sleeps longer in the evening.
I'm saying in general, if your baby is not hooked on a schedule and not sleeping for these long stretches, this baby might wake up in the middle of the night and you're still going to be asleep.
Right, and that's the whole point, is that when you're a new mom, your adrenaline is constantly pumping. You wake up to you typically wake up to every little sound.
This is true.
You can go months without getting real rest.
This is true.
So if you're complaining about being tired, that's a real thing. It's not, don't complain about it, just go get some rest. It's not that easy.
But I'm saying you have the opportunity to relax. Maybe I shouldn't have said
Hey, let me
sleep.
let me save you here.
Go ahead.
This is one of those situations where they want to vent and they don't want a solution. So all you need to do is just get your third ear on and listen to them vent.
And it's not so much that we don't want a solution. If someone comes over and says, "Hey, go ahead and take a nap,"
but this is
I'll watch the baby and I'll keep the baby.
Single parent.
Right, but single parents still have other help that they can rely on, like grands or aunts and uncles.
But what
or
happened to
cousins?
the small few that don't have that?
I'm sure
I know people that goes through it. I mean, it's not that big of a crowd, but those people count too.
I'm sure they have some type of help they can call on to help them with the baby. I'm pretty
There
sure.
are also
Just be
so
like
many
our
single
grandmamas
mom
and-
groups where they can get together and
Exactly.
support each
They have
other.
mom
You'll be
clubs.
surprised
Yeah.
how many people are by themselves in that situation.
Just do like our grandmamas, have 12 babies and then let the older babies take care of the young babies.
Exactly. Put them all in one of those
It's
playpen
yard.
things. And be done.
My whole point is, I don't want any mother who has a new child to feel bad for complaining or venting about being
Right.
tired, because it's a real thing. And sometimes you are so exhausted because it's been 2 or 3 months since you had an 8-hour stretch of sleep that you are tired. But at moments during the day, you can't just take a nap.
Right.
You can't let your body rest because there's so many other things you need to get done. And if you are a single mom, now you're doing everything. You're doing the whole load of managing the whole house. You're making sure bills are getting paid. You're making sure laundry's done, the house is clean, the toys are cleaned off, or whatever else needs to be done. So and you have a ton of laundry when you have a newborn. Tons of laundry. Like that was the most I've ever done laundry in my
And
entire
folding
life.
those little clothes, it's so
Oh
annoying.
my God, yes. And I would iron mines and then
Of course you would. Of course you would. I'd roll mine up in a ball and I'd be like, here.
They're going to mess it up anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a
Oh, my
blowout in 5
gosh.
minutes,
Right.
so it's fine.
She really would iron those clothes, man.
I did. Well, is there anything that you would do differently after being a first-time mom, going into having another? Is there anything that stands out that you're like, oh, I'm definitely not going to do that with my second?
I really had, this is probably for another show, but I did have postpartum anxiety and depression. And my anxiety was I couldn't leave Sam. Like I really couldn't. I didn't trust anybody with him. So next time around, and especially since like people who meet me are like, my God, you're such like a chill mom. I can't believe that you are actually like obsessive like that. So, but I was, and I think being on the other side of it the next time around, I won't be so hard on myself. I won't put so much pressure on myself to be there for every specific thing. You know, that it's okay when my in-laws come over and do something differently, or my husband does something different. Like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that not being so hard on myself would be the advice I would give.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, definitely when Christopher, every time he had a slight fever, I was rushing to the ER. Like every single time. And I think now, even after having Milani, I can say that that was something that I did not do anymore. I realized that fevers aren't something to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
They're just letting you know that something is attacking the system. Once you figure out what's attacking the system, now you can do different things to treat and boost the immune system. And fevers are actually great. It's your body's way of letting you know that your body's doing its job, you know. And when you have a fever, it's because it's killing something that is invading your body. So I would take my kid to the doctor to find out what exactly it was, whether it was ear infection or sinus infection or whatever. And once I can pinpoint what was causing the fever, that made me feel a lot better because now I can treat it with my essential oils and do whatever I need to do. So I would use rosemary and coconut oil or olive oil. And if it was a sinus infection, I would rub that around their nose, make sure it's diluted properly. And I would rub that around their nasal passage, like literally every 20 minutes for the first hour, twice the second hour, and then every hour after that. And next thing I know, the fever is calming. If they ever got to a point where their fever is so high and they're totally uncomfortable, they're not eating, they're not having wet diapers, or they're not going potty, at that point, I definitely make sure I give them some type of Tylenol or Motrin. So I'm not one of those moms that's like, I have to do everything natural and I can't use. No, I'm going to use whatever I need to do to make my child happy and comfortable. But as long as if they do have a fever and they're still playing and they're still using the bathroom, they're still eating, they're still drinking plenty of water.
That's important
then
too, yeah.
I'm going to let their body do what it's supposed to do. And most times they would push right on through, the fever would break, and then they're good. So,
you know, something to add to the fever of what I wish someone told me was that anything between 97 and 100.3 degrees is not considered a fever.
Right.
So when Sam would have like 99 or 100, I would freak out.
too.
And then my doctor told me like, that's actually like not a fever.
Right.
So
once it gets to like 103,
yeah.
I've been at those times where Christopher, he had really bad sinus infections, which is how I really was introduced to essential oils. And he would get to like 103, 103.8, and it would be scary. But, you know, we learned over time that, you know, we know how to manage the fevers now. We know what to do, and we know what signs to look for if he's, you know, not doing well, if he's not wetting or anything like that. So yeah. What about you, Chris?
I think that just to, you know, be more supportive as a husband, you know, I think when we had Christopher, I pretty much was on top of everything. Once we had Milani, I kind of got relaxed and I didn't help you out, so I regret that and apologize. So
yeah, I was like, "Where the baby Peppy?"
I was a deadbeat dad for a bit.
No, you weren't a deadbeat. He just wasn't helping me at night.
I wasn't helping her at night, and you know, I got really relaxed and I was sleeping in, and you know, didn't really understand how much of a toll it was taking on you. So definitely from here on out, even when we get to the 8th baby, I'm gonna make sure.
Whoa, that's news.
No, when we get to the 8th baby, we'll probably shut it down after that. I'll make sure that I stay on top of things and give. Hold on, what are you talking about?
I'm done. I'm 3. I'm good. I'm done.
We'll see about that.
I don't know.
As long as I'm working,
nah,
it's a possibility.
I'm gonna trick him, take him to the diapers to the doctor so he can get snipped.
No, not happening.
Take this pill, go
Ain't
to
snipping
sleep.
Nothing
Right?
down here.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
God, snip. Cut off them little swimmers. 'Cause them sharpshooters. Oh my God, he's such a sharpshooter. Cannot. Oh my God, I'll be pregnant like on top of this pregnancy.
No, but definitely be
carry
more
2
supportive
big
and help
babies.
out throughout the night.
Oh my God, yeah, no, that's great advice. And
I might
even
buy you a
for-
little bell. You can just jingle it, and
No, I don't want to do that.
you're not gonna do that because I ain't buying no bell.
But yeah, so I guess as we wrap this episode, oh wait,
Yeah,
Hank,
what about Hank? I mean, Hank taking care of the people's babies and stuff.
Hank
I mean,
was a
he might
daddy
have
for
an
2
idea.
months.
Listen, man, I did everything right. I followed Moni's blueprint. I wouldn't do anything differently. I just feel like I did everything right. I mean,
Well,
So when you actually have your own, you're gonna be on it.
oh yeah, I'm on it.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I have my own and I know it's mine.
so maybe one
Absolutely.
thing you can do differently is be sure that it's yours.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can sit back and look out for somebody else's baby the way you did, you're gonna be an
Imagine what I'm
excellent
doing
dad
right
Yeah,
when you
that's
have your
true.
own.
I don't even know if that's a joke, Chris, but
No, he's
I'm
good
with
with
you
our
100%.
kids.
Well,
No, it's
exactly.
both.
I feel like
It's
he
both.
takes such
It's
good
a
care.
joke
I mean,
and
I
it's
did-
like
You pick him
being
up from
real.
school.
I did excellent.
So
I did
sweet.
everything.
There's
I
a
mean,
dude out there real happy right now that you took care of that baby for 2 months.
Yes, it is.
during the
While he out
hardest
there having a
time.
good time,
you know what I'm
clubbing,
saying?
Literally the
partying,
hardest
You
part.
know, you know.
and you over there with his baby, taking care of his baby.
Oh my God.
All right, so
No.
we're not going to end this on this note. This is what we're
I'm
not going to do.
But you know what, though? I do respect you for that.
Real
you know,
stuff, 'cause I didn't want
You
to.
was handling your responsibility, doing what you
I didn't want to with the objections I had. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't too sure anyway.
But you was on it just in case.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
respect
that's
that.
amazing.
Yes,
No
I was
doubt.
on it. So any women out there, you know, I did great things with a baby that wasn't mine. Imagine if I, you know, was
Wait,
your
are you
baby daddy.
It should be
Saying
like
you
a.
want
It should be
a
like
baby?
a app with your
I
face
always
on
said,
it. Fake
I always
baby
said,
daddy.
I'm going to have a baby, and it's probably going to be an accident. You know what I mean? I don't really think it's going to be the right way. Marriage, baby. I don't see that. I don't see that happening in my life.
Right.
I don't see it going step by step like that. But Moni, you go ahead, do your thing.
You never know. You
no, it's
never
not.
know.
No, it won't. It won't.
Okay.
It won't.
We hear
Famous
you.
last
And it's
words.
it's
This is
definitely been
documented.
recorded and documented.
Oh, heck,
so
man,
we'll
you'd
see.
be crazy if you see me married and then, Hank's having a baby.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's not happening.
We'll see.
Ain't,
Okay.
Ain't no ooch that good.
Oh, Lord.
It's a snapping turtle out there for you to catch.
Yeah.
turtle.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Well, my tip for the day would
How many
definitely.
snapping turtles have you seen?
Okay.
Never mind.
We're going to wrap this up.
I'm sorry.
My tip of the day is always be prepared for the unexpected. You know, don't beat yourself up too much. Try to have some type of help around if you can. Start looking at people if you can afford it. Start looking at, you know, help before the baby comes maybe. Get comfortable with someone. Have a plan as far as that goes so that you can get some sleep. And I know my mom, she was with us for the first 3 weeks after we had Christopher.
Big help.
Oh my God, we were nervous when it was time for her to leave. Like, we were just like, are you going to seriously like leave us with this baby? Like, is this legal? We didn't know what to do, but we made it happen. We managed, and I'm proud. I'm proud of us. I think we've done pretty good.
Proud of you too.
We're not perfect, but we're always trying to do what's best for our kids and make sure that they have the best opportunity out there. So just also remember that lack of sleep leads to lack of sex and affection. So
You better make
Husbands?
sure. You better make sure she sleep.
or significant others, whoever you are, take heed. You want sex? You need to make sure your baby mama or your wife, whoever she is, gets some rest. Don't sleep on that.
And
Let
then
her
she'll
sleep on
put
that.
you to rest.
Did you have anything, Aly, for a tip?
I feel like we've covered so much. I guess, I mean, honestly, the tip will go back to the lactation consultant.
Yeah.
Just ask for help. Don't rely on Google. If you have a question about breastfeeding, talk to the experts directly.
Yeah,
Yes,
no
yes.
crusty dry nipples.
Yeah.
I don't even like the
Yes.
thought
Yeah.
of that.
Just
Here's
go ahead
to
and-
no crusty.
Yes, please go ahead and invest in a jar, not a plastic bottle. Get the jar, cold pressed, organic, unrefined coconut oil. I'm telling you, it's life changing.
I feel like honestly
amazing.
rubbing that on all over me when I was pregnant prevented stretch marks too.
Oh yeah, yep. And I did shea butter. So not not to take this like too far out of the box, but I actually learned this dealing with some of my friends who had pregnancies after me, because I have friends from all different racial backgrounds, and me being Black, my skin is naturally drier. So one of my friends, she was white, and white people tend to have more oily skin. You don't dry as fast as Black people, and I told her to get shea butter because that's what I used. And then she came back and she said that it's just not working for me. It clogs my pores, and and I felt so bad. And we both had to like get down to the science of it. And we were like, wait, why is this? So we realized that for her, coconut oil it works better.
Interesting.
For
Okay.
me, coconut oil rubbing on my skin, my skin drank it up too fast. So I had to use shea butter.
Okay.
So just knowing what type of skin you have, if your skin is, and it's not even about race, it's just knowing your skin really. If your skin is on the oil or is on the oily side and you absorb moisture pretty good, you retain moisture pretty well, coconut oil may be the best for you. If your skin's on a drier side and you're noticing that your stomach is itching really bad, you're seeing stretch marks pop up, maybe try something a little thicker like the African shea butter. So just a little tip. But yeah, so I think that was a great episode. I hope you were able to get a lot of information. If you do have any questions, please visit notforlazymoms.com. If there's any other things you would like for us to write articles about that we didn't cover in the podcast, then we're here and we just want to meet the needs. So definitely want to give a moment of silence to all of you first-time moms out there, all of you soon-to-be first-time moms, and those who are planning to be pregnant. Motherhood is the best journey I've ever been on outside of marriage. And, just keep your head up. Don't beat yourself up when the expectations aren't where you want them to be. Just enjoy, because that first year goes by so fast. And next thing you know, you don't have a baby anymore after the first year, So enjoy it as much as you can. Soak it all up. Take plenty of pictures, videos, and just make notes. Have a journal. Write down everything about that baby. And then you'll be able to share something with them when they get older and they start having kids and they start seeing similarities. So it's pretty amazing. So thank you so much for tuning in, and take care until next week. Thanks.